Hello class, just thought I'd get back with you on some feedback on your Module 2 discussions. Again, some really good work. Really great to see the way everybody's working together. First thing I wanted to comment on was the reaction to the Jim Jones discussion question, and it pretty much followed what I've seen in other groups. But as I mentioned in my disclaimer, I wasn't suggesting that your group is like Jonestown, but that coercive and other negative forms of power tend to be present, and so it ends up being more a matter of degree. When you consider, many of you talked about Adolf Hitler in the same breath with James Jones. The real thing about both of those guys, but we'll talk about Hitler, is that Hitler gave the people of Germany something that they were looking for, and that was pride. The reparations after World War I put Germany in a very desperate place, and as a country they were looking for a hand up to get back on their feet, be a great nation again, and Hitler was clear, had a clear path for making that happen, which he did. Again, just like with Jones, it ended up with destructive results. But with the reward power that he had and other types of power that came around that as time went on, and he proved that he could do what he said he was going to do. So again, it's a matter of degrees, it's a matter of time, and lessons that it would be nice that as a society we thought we had learned, but hard to say. One of the things that's really good as I read your reflections is how well you're responding to the input of your group. Shared perspective is a really powerful thing, and that's at the heart of the work that we're doing with our discussions. It was mentioned, I forget who did, one or two folks mentioned the book Good to Great by Jim Collins, actually one of my favorites. The Collins team, their researchers examined, I guess it was domestic companies over a certain size, and only evaluated 11 as being truly great in a whole host of categories. And so when they started digging into what made them great over time in terms of their performance, there were two things that stood out. One was that their CEOs, all 11 CEOs, they found to be extremely humble, driven, intelligent, effective, but they had a level of personal humility that was distinctive. Perhaps just as important and very much related is that in 10 of those 11, those companies had even greater results after that CEO left. They had done such a good job early on at identifying and grooming their successors and setting them up for success, that the companies, 10 out of the 11 actually had results better than the original CEO. Very remarkable, very remarkable. Another thing that was really good to see, that as a result of the surveys, most if not all of you came away with some revelations about what you were effective at, and also some areas where you might be able to improve your leadership, even if you're not in a position of formal leadership now. And as we'll see when we get to John Maxwell's 360 leader, that is the heart of leadership in any organization. So here's something that some of you struggled with. At least you mentioned it. Maybe all of you thought about it. But when you look at your results, if you evaluated yourself one way and those around you evaluated you differently, the big question is, who's right? Well, if you think about it, they are, because it's their perceptions. And so the task for us as leaders is how do we narrow that gap? And so that what we think we are, who we think we want to be, how do we make sure that we're manifesting behaviors that allow others to share that same opinion? That probably is fundamentally the biggest challenge of leadership. It's not how we think we're coming across. It's not how smart we think we are. It's how others think we're coming across and how smart others think we are. So I think that's about all the comments that I had. Good job. Performance came up a notch on the second one. Looking forward to the third. So keep plugging and lead on.